Dallas, Texas, year 2000. Two men walk into Blockbuster's corporate headquarters. They run a small, struggling DVD by mail company with 300,000 subscribers and a business that is losing money every month. They are here to make Blockbuster an offer. Buy us for $50 million. And we'll run your website. The CEO of Blockbuster listens, nods, asks the price again, and says no. He almost laughs them out of the room. That company was Netflix. This is the story of the $50 million mistake. And the decade of small, rational decisions that made it inevitable. To understand why Blockbuster said no, you have to understand what Blockbuster was in 2000. 9,000 stores, 60 million customers, $6 billion a year in revenue. It was not just the biggest video rental chain in the world for a generation. It was the only place most people thought to look. And a huge slice of that revenue came from one deeply unglamorous source: late fees. Roughly $800 million a year. About $1 in every 6 Blockbuster made came from charging customers for returning movies late. That same year, two entrepreneurs named Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph were running Netflix, a mail-order DVD rental service with a novel idea. No due dates, no late fees, just a flat monthly fee. It was clever, but it wasn't yet profitable, and it needed distribution. Blockbuster already had. So Hastings flew to Dallas and pitched a merger. Blockbuster would buy Netflix for $50 million, and Netflix's team would build and run Blockbuster.com. According to Netflix's own executives, Blockbuster's leadership almost laughed them out of the office. Why no made sense. Measured, analytical, Planet Money style. Here is the part most retellings skip. The rejection wasn't stupidity. It was arithmetic. Blockbuster's entire operating model, its store network, its staffing, its profit margins, was built around people renting a physical disc and, often, returning it late. Buying a company whose entire pitch was no late fees, no due dates, meant attacking the $800 million leg of its own business. From inside a boardroom, optimized for this year's numbers, saying yes to Netflix looked like self-sabotage. This is the innovator's dilemma in its purest form. The better the current business is at making money, the harder it is to justify the thing that will replace it. So Netflix went home and kept building. No acquisition, no bailout, just a subscription business, growing quietly underneath Blockbuster's notice. By 2005, Netflix had crossed 3.5 million subscribers. In 2007, it added something Blockbuster couldn't put on a store shelf: streaming. Every year that passed, the gap between a video store and a subscription to convenience got a little wider and a little more permanent. Blockbuster did eventually react. It dropped late fees in 2005. In 2006, it launched Total Access, letting subscribers swap discs by mail or in store. A genuinely strong answer that, for a moment, actually worried Netflix. But it came 6 years after the warning. It cost the company hundreds of millions in lost late fee revenue it hadn't budgeted for. And it fought against a board that still measured success by store traffic, not subscriptions. Too late, too underfunded, and undercut from the inside. By the time Total Access was working, Blockbuster was carrying nearly $1 billion of debt from its earlier spin-off. And the 2008 financial crisis cut off the credit that might have bought it more time. Store counts that peaked near 9,000 fell to about 6,500 by the start of 2010. On September 23, 2010, Blockbuster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Dish Network bought what was left. By 2014, the last company-owned stores closed for good. Today, Netflix is worth more than $300 billion. It didn't just survive the format it was born into, DVDs by mail. It outlived it. And outlived the entire industry. Blockbuster once ruled. There is exactly one Blockbuster store left in the world. In Bend, Oregon. Kept alive as a nostalgia landmark, not a business. The $50 million offer that was almost laughed out of a Dallas boardroom would have bought a controlling stake in a company now worth roughly 6,000 times that. It's tempting to call this a story about missing the future. It isn't, really. Blockbuster's executives weren't blind. They ran the numbers. And the numbers, for that year, said no. The mistake wasn't a failure of vision. It was a failure to weigh a small, current, measurable cost against a large, future, unmeasurable risk. Every profitable company makes that trade constantly, usually without noticing it's a trade at all. The hardest decisions rarely look like decisions at all when you're the one holding the pen. Somewhere, right now, there's a version of that Dallas meeting happening again. A small, inconvenient pitch that doesn't fit this quarter's numbers. The company on the other side of that table is rarely announcing itself as the future. It just looks, for a little while longer, like it's asking for too much money.